Hello and welcome to this module where we are going to be discussing summary tasks. A summary task is used for organizing groups of tasks that are closely related, and we organize them into an outline. So when you're doing a course or a program, you get what is called a course outline that gives you the main topics that are going to be covered. Then under each main topic, you get subtopics, then the actual course detail. It is the same thing with the tasks. You can group together tasks under a summary task. The outline that you get with summary tasks, it helps you to organize your project into phases. For example, the building project can be organized into a number of phases. The first phase, we can call it foundation. Then the next phase, we call it brickwork. Then we go to another phase, which is for fittings. The next phase for electricals. And then we have got a phase for roofing. So the way that you organize your tasks into phases should be one that you understand, or rather that makes you understand the outline of the project better. The summary tasks, they are automatically scheduled, and the duration of the summary task is the overall span from the earliest start date to the latest finish date of all its subtasks. So in other words, if a phase is for constructing the foundation, then that summary task is going to have subtasks, which are digging the foundation, which are constructing the foundation, as well as pouring concrete into the foundation. So these three tasks can be summarized into one summary task, which is the foundation. All the summary tasks are then summarized into the highest level summary task that we call the project summary. So the project summary now summarizes or groups all the summary tasks under it. In order for us to create these summary tasks, we can use what we call a top-down approach, where we start by creating the summary task, for example, the foundation, and then afterwards we now bring in the subtasks that come in under that summary task. So it's a top-down because we start with the top item, which is the main item, the summary item. Then you can have a bottom-up approach where you first put all the detailed activities like we have done in our project. We started by putting all the tasks. You can then select tasks that belong to the same phase, and you group them under a summary task. So that is the bottom-up approach. There are two basic ways that you can put a summary task on your project. Firstly, you can put it like any ordinary task, and they are all on the same level. Then once you've got all the tasks on your plan, you then promote the tasks that you want to become summary tasks. So at first they start as ordinary tasks, then you select the ones that you'd like to promote to be summary tasks. The second way is to insert a new summary task. So if you are inserting a new summary task, you basically go to the place where you'd like to insert that summary task. In order for us to insert the summary task for the foundation, we select all the items that would like to be subtasks of the foundation, which is digging it, building foundation wall, pouring concrete, and waiting for the concrete to dry. Then we go to task and we look for the insert group. Then we insert the summary task. We go up and we rename our summary task to construct foundation. So the summary task takes the duration of all the items that fall under it. So the 5 and 5, which is 10 plus 3 plus 3, which is 16 days. So you can see that this item has now provided an outline for this particular stage. Next, we are going to insert another summary task. This time, let's call it constructing the walls. So the walls of the building, which is going to include the brickwork itself, as well as the fitting of the doors and window frames. So we highlight those three activities and we go to task and insert summary. Then we call our summary task construct walls. And it gives us a summary of 23 days. So you can see that we've got one item which is down here, which is the plastering and waiting for plastering to dry. We can leave these items here, or we can actually shift them and move them so that they are under the construction of the wall. But at times you want to wait to plaster until you have put in all your pipings for the electricity. So once you have got your conduits in for the electricity, then we can do the plastering. So what we are going to do is we are going to include this plastering together with the fittings, and we are going to create it as a new summary task. Let's call this summary task electricals, plumbing, and plastering. So we go to task, insert, and summary. So we said we are going to call it electricals, plumbing, and plastering. So that becomes our next summary task. I'll stretch out this column. Then we get to another summary task that we will call roofing and tiles. So I select the tasks under roofing, tiles, and ceiling. Then we go to task and insert summary. So we call it roofing tiles and ceiling. And the summary is 15 days long. And then next we go to the electrical fittings. So we select all the electrical items, fitting of plug sockets, lights, stove, geyser. Then we say task, insert summary. We call this task electrical fittings. Then the last summary task, we are going to call it glazing and painting. So glazing is basically your glass, your windows, fitting the actual window panes. So we highlight those two items. We go to task, insert group and summary, and we call it glazing and painting. Right, I realize this electrical and that electrical might confuse somebody. So these are the fittings. This is the piping, the conduits and wiring. So let us go back here and double click so that we go to the task information. So we call this electrical wiring, plumbing and plastering. So we deal with the wiring at this stage, then the fittings down here. Okay, so the summary tasks are now giving us an outline of the project. So we can now say our project consists of constructing the foundation. I suppose we also need a summary task up here. So we highlight these two, we go to task, insert summary, and we are going to call this summary task planning and material purchase. So you can see that the milestones that we put earlier on, I did not make them sub tasks. I just left them out of the summary tasks because this phase 2, for example, is having 2 summary tasks. So this end of phase milestone is not part of the summary task. All right, let's see how good this looks. We now have all our summary tasks. Now suppose you wanted to demote a summary task. I will select this last one, glazing and painting. In other words, we no longer want it to be a summary task. We want to remove it. What you must do is first you demote it. So in order for us to demote this item, we select all the subtasks under it. So we select those two subtasks. Then we go to the task tab, and then under the schedule we have got indent and outdent task. So indent, it pushes the tasks inwards. So from this margin it has pushed them inwards, and outdent means we are pushing them back outwards. So we select outdent like that. So the moment you select outdent, this summary task ceases or stops being a summary task. Now it's just an ordinary task. And if you wanted to remove it, you just right click on it, and then you click delete task. Then that line would go. But in our case, we want to keep it, so we are going to select these two items. We go to task, scheduling, and we indent. So the moment you indent these items, MS Project will know you want to make that item above them to become a summary task. So that is how we promote or demote a summary task. So what I would like you to do now is to go to your project plan and add these summary tasks. So if you do not get it right first time, just rewind the video and watch again over and over until you get it. But it is as simple as simply selecting the items that you want to be part of the summary. Then you go to task, then insert summary. Then it will automatically insert that line, but it will give it a default name which says summary task. Then you need to click on it and simply change the name to planning and material purchase, and you do the same for all these other sub tasks. So make sure that your project is looking exactly like mine by the time you are done with this video, and then you save your work. In the next video, we are going to be looking at recurring tasks. In other words, tasks that are repeated a number of times. They could be repeated twice, or they could be repeated using a pattern weekly or monthly or quarterly. So all the best with your exercises. Just make sure you are up to date before you go to the next video.